you. So, April Fool's Day, 1985. I'm not much one to make a lot of jokes, on April Fool's Day, but I woke up that morning thinking, what if I called my mom and told her that the guy I'd been dating for the last 4 months, that we had eloped that weekend? I think this is a great idea. So I call her at work and we exchange the usual pleasantries, how was your weekend? And when she asked me how my weekend was, I said, well, Doug and I eloped. Dead silence on the other end of the phone. And then she says, just a minute. And I hear her put the phone down on her desk, get up from her chair, walk across her office, close the office door, walk back, sit down, pick up the phone. And I realize, one, she believes me, and secondly, I know I'm in deep shit. My parents, when we grew up, kids, we were bad. It was a certain look they would give you and a tone of voice, and you knew you had really stepped in at that point when you heard that tone of voice. And that tone of voice was there when she said, just a minute. And I'm thinking, but really, why is she so mad? What would make her so angry at me about this? And then I remembered, okay, in my family, even though my father had passed away years before, in my family, if a guy wants to ask, one of her daughters to marry, then they damn well better go ask my mother for their hand first. And even for my brother, if a girl wanted to marry him, that girl better come ask my mother for their hand in marriage first. It was serious business in my family. So I'm thinking that's probably why she's mad, that Doug didn't ask before we eloped, right? So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna hear. I'm gonna get reamed out about that. But then she starts talking to me, and what I get instead is, why, Melissa? Why did you do that? Why would you do that? We would all want to be there and celebrate with you and be all together. Your friends, your family, your fake aunts and uncles. Why would you elope like that? And I am not expecting that. I'm like, what is going on? Who is this woman on the other end of my phone? And I'm thinking, I don't know what to think, because she still believes me. And remember, this was just an idea. I hadn't gotten a backstory together. I hadn't fleshed this thing out. I hadn't got the whys and the wheres in the house put together and how we eloped. And I dug deep, and I summoned up all my great improv training from when I was a theater major in college, and I said, I don't know. I couldn't think of another thing to say to her. And I'm thinking, who is this woman? What happened to my adventurous romantic mother who, she grew up and kind of came of age in the early 50s. She grew up in a very strict New England household. Her parents got along, well, they didn't get along at all. They should have been divorced, and it was miserable. And I remember once reading in her high school diary, Mom doesn't know that, but the first page of her senior year, going into high school, what she wrote was, I can't wait to get out of here. And I'm thinking, where was that woman off for adventure, for big life? And she was a romantic, and she fell deeply, deeply in love with my dad, and I think she would have been really super happy with him, except then she ended up in the suburbs with 4 kids and didn't turn out quite like she thought. But they fell in love madly, and well, as a matter of fact, they had to push their wedding up a couple months, what I mean? And I'm thinking, it was a very stressful wedding for everybody, for my parents, for their parents. I'm thinking, wouldn't she be grateful for me for eloping? Save her some money and some aggravation. But no, she was super upset with me, and she's going, why, Melissa, why would you do this? And I finally said, April Fools! Dead silence on the other end of the phone. And then she finally said, I will talk to you later. And she hangs up on me. So a year later, to the date, my phone rings. It's my mom. And before I can even say, hey, how? She says to me, I have been trying for an entire year to think of a way to get back at you. And I haven't been able to think of anything. Happy April Fools. Bam, she hangs up on me again. Forgiven? I think not.